Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something other than Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about Litecoin. I don't know how you feel about Litecoin, but you can't deny history and the positive future that crypto has right now and how it's going to impact Litecoin. It's been coined as Bitcoin silver, as Bitcoin is gold, and it's the silver, the Bitcoin's gold, however the thing goes. But I think this is a good play. As a matter of fact, I've added some into my portfolio. So, I've had millionaire portfolios, but you always have to look at market conditions. And if the market tells you something, you got to roll with it. So I'm going to share this video with you as to why I think everyone should hold a little bit of Litecoin because the future seems bright for this and crypto in general. So if you want to hear more about Litecoin, please follow me through this video. If you like Litecoin or like the content, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe to the channel. So let's take a look at Litecoin and why I added some to my portfolio. Now, I am not getting paid by Charlie Lee or Litecoin or any coins to be exact. I'm too small of a channel for that. So everything that I talk about is just me and what I honestly put my hard-earned money into. So at this point, the big caps are going, although there was a slight dip today, but we got to find these gems. We're all looking for those 10, 20, 50x gems. And going forward on this channel, I'm going to start focusing on those. I've been focusing a lot on the big caps, Solanas, XRPs recently, Cardano and stuff like that. But right now, those things are run. And if you follow me, you hold some of those already. Now we got to try to find the smaller ones. So I'm going to start with this Litecoin. And I think Litecoin is a good play. And I'm going to tell you why. So let's look at coin market cap right now. It currently sits at number 20. So if we go down to number 20, current price is 132.21, down to 130 at the time of this video. But if you look at the past 7 days, up 40%. And I'm going to talk about why it's been up 40%. Obviously, good conditions in the US for crypto regulation and all of that. But there are other things going on with Litecoin as well. Market cap of only 9.8 billion, right? So there's some X's to be had, especially when I talk about my hypothesis as to why I think this thing is going to go up. Trading volumes of 2.4 billion, circulating supply 75 million Litecoins. And there's a max supply of 84 million. So again, we don't have much inflation. About 89.6 of this thing is already circulating right now. And they have a halving cycle, which we're going to get into. So all the things that Bitcoin has, obviously just a cheaper version. So my whole theory is when Bitcoin starts going crazy expensive and it's hard to get a hold of, what are people and institutions going to turn to next? Thinking, hey, this is going to be the next thing to pop. That's where I'm going with it. So Bitcoin and Litecoin, little relationship. Bitcoin was the first one. It's the big daddy. Obviously, that's where everyone is FOMOing into right now. Bitcoin will hit over 100,000 before the end of this year. What does that leave the likes of the rest of these big altcoins, specifically something that's similar to Bitcoin? So cheaper, and it is supposed to scale quicker. It's faster, right? So it's more accessible as far as peer-to-peer transactions. You probably can use it. Obviously, it's not as expensive as Bitcoin, so most people might want to transact using that. So that's one of my main things. Also, there's a halving cycle. So the next halving cycle kind of coincides with Bitcoins as well. So this is July 2027, according to this here, July 29th, 2027. So a little bit earlier than Bitcoin. And as of now, the block reward is 6.25 coins. Then it will decrease to 3.1. So all of the same type of mechanics of Bitcoin, but not quite Bitcoin. And that's why I think it's a cheap alternative. Now, this is just some dude on the internet talking about this. Let's see what Smart Money's doing. Smart Money, this is as of ending last week. We know that they're all FOMOing in the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of that. But let's take a look. This is ending last week. They actually bought, when I say they, talking about institutions, venture capitalists, and the like, they bought about 200,000 worth of Litecoin. And for the month, they bought about 5 million. For the year, 47 million. So we put this into context, compare it to the other big ones. Bitcoin, obviously 33 billion. Ethereum, 2.1 billion. Solana, 110 million. And then XRP, 141 million. And look at Litecoin, 47 million. So institutions, smart money, they're looking at Litecoin as well. So this is just not some junk coin. People smarter than me are looking at this and buying it. And you see it's more than Cardano and more than Chainlink. So there's something there. Then Grayscale, they also have a trust, and they have currently 262 million worth of Litecoin under management, right there. And we know how they do with their trusts. So no spot right now for Grayscale, thank God, because we know how they do with the spot ETFs as well. They start selling it off and it impacts the price. But they do hold it, and it does good things for projects that they hold. Also, if we look at their following on Twitter/X, over 1.1 million followers. So it has been around for a while, so you would expect that. But still, there's people following it, minus the bots and all of that. It still has a following. Also, asset manager Canary Capital has filed registration docs. This was in October for a spot ETF. So this is one of many. And if conditions improve in the US and worldwide, hey, in the US, I could possibly see a spot ETF for Litecoin coming out. There's one already talked about for XRP. There's one talking about, I think today actually, Grayscale filed for a spot Solana ETF. Litecoin is not far-fetched. What's going to happen when that happens? Also, let's take a look at the amount of holders. So this is Litecoin's rich list. We see that there are over, as far as people that hold it, right? We see that there is, let's go down here as far as the richest go. Over a million, only 2 wallets. 100 to a million, 120 wallets or addresses rather. Then you have 10,000 to 100,000 worth of Litecoin, a little over 1,000. And then you look at these numbers just going up. So there are holders of this thing. And if we break it down and see who's holding the most, we already saw that 2 wallets control a lot, or they have a lot worth. And that could be exchanges, who knows, Grayscale. But if you look at the other, aside from the top 2 wallets, everything no one holds more than 1%. So it's evenly distributed. Now there's some FUD with Litecoin because Charlie Lee, the founder, sold all of his bags, but he's still involved in the project. And because of that, that left a sour taste with a lot of people in crypto. But when I look at this rich list here, I see that this is, something that has some teeth to it. There's some holders that's been holding on for a long time and probably waiting for the next bull cycle. So that's positive. I like to see that. Also, to my thesis, Bitcoin balance, the OTC market is going to dry up at some point. With all these ETFs buying, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy buying, is gonna sour soon. And you look at the balances on exchanges, just look at that green graph right there, going down, 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 down. These ETFs aren't going to stop buying. Michael Saylor's not going to stop buying. He's already announced he plans to buy billions more. What's going to happen when the price of Bitcoin gets too expensive for the everyday person like you and me? That's maybe not so versed and smart as the crypto, see what's going on. They're going to look for the next and cheaper alternative, which will probably be, in their case, they may think Bitcoin Cash. That's done pretty well. Then they're going to fall back to Litecoin. And that's going to do wonders for this asset that's currently sitting at under $140. Now, according to Litecoin, they're saying that it is the choice of payments on BitPay for the past 6 months. So this is comparing it to Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin Cash, Doge, and Matic. But let's just focus on these two right here, Bitcoin and Litecoin. And again, that supports my thesis that you want to hold Bitcoin. You're not trying to buy things with Bitcoin, right? Because the price of that thing is going to increase over time, over your lifetime, generations, for your kids and all of that. But something like Litecoin, yeah, you'd be willing to part with that. What happens if we have a good atmosphere and merchants start accepting Litecoin? That can do wonders for it as well. So you have that possible spot ETF. You have favorable conditions, good regulation in the US and worldwide. The price of this thing will go higher for sure. Now, if we look at the price. So currently, if we look at this chart here, you just see that going up higher, right? And I'm going to show you another chart that supports, if we look at the all-time highs from 2017 and the last bull cycle, 400 is that number. That's minimum. Now, that 400 number was before we had the presidency that we have changed in the US, good crypto atmosphere, and just growing adoption worldwide. We hit that 400 without any of that. So what's going to happen if the conditions improve and it's just crazy and Bitcoin is a price over $100,000? You think about that for a second. So this is that chart that I'm showing you. This is per Peter Brandt. And he just goes and shows that chart. So this is from 2000, like, the cycle before last, the bull, 400, right? Almost 420. The last cycle, 400. And right now, at the time when he did this, we're at 114. Now we're at 130. It's going to go back up to 400. And you just think about everything we just talked about here. I think the conditions are prime for Litecoin. It's going to be the cheap alternative for people trying to get into Bitcoin, thinking they missed a ship for it. And I think Litecoin is going to be good. So I'm not going crazy on it. I'm just going to have a small percentage of Litecoin, possibly 10 to 20. I know it sounds like a lot right now. It's over $1,000. But in the long term, if that $1,000 or $2,000 turns into something double, triple, quadruple that amount, that's a good investment, good return on investment in my book. So that is it for Litecoin. I like it. Let me know what you think of Litecoin. And until next time, thank you for spending your time with me. Talk to you later.